So it's gone from like totally dairy through to being sort of a mixed farm. We keep quite a lot of the beef now as well. So some of that direct selling. We actually have a very good abattoir locally, and the day they shut, I will be very sad, but they will take a few animals at a time and very flexible, and also will butcher it. So we're really lucky with that. But so it's gone from, very, very dairy-like through to mixed farm, which I think we're seeing more and more in the UK.
From wherever we are, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia, recognising their continuing connection to this land, its waterways, the stars in the skies since time immemorial. We pay our respects to the elders, knowledge holders, and to all the generations of First Nations peoples who have nurtured their unceded sovereign lands for over 80,000 years and continue to do so today.
G'day, I'm your host Charlie Arnott, an 8th generational Australian regenerative farmer. And in this podcast series, I'll be diving deep and exploring my guests' unique perspectives on the world so you can apply their experience and knowledge to cultivate your own transition to a more regenerative way of life.
Welcome to the Regenerative Journey with your host Charlie Arnott.
Welcome to the Regenerative Journey. That's the name of my podcast. And welcome to Fat Pig Farm. Is this your first time in Australia?
No. My uncle lives in Melbourne, so I've been quite a few times.
Oh, nice. And you got here sort of latest yesterday, so I won't quiz you on too many of yesterday's guests. But
I'll be making it up.
You will. So I want to just, before we get into what you do, I just want to see what your thoughts have been so far for Grounded, which is kind of a sister show with Groundswell, which you've probably been to. You've really presented at?
Really good family friends, and spoken a couple of times, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I'm going to get there one day. Terry, who you just met, I think Terry has spoken there. Or Charlie Massey, one of his pioneering buddies. So tell me, is there anyone you've seen, listened to presentations yesterday afternoon or this morning that's really struck you and gone, oh, that's amazing, that's great, that's nugget of gold I'm going to take home?
Yeah, two real powerhouse women earlier, Helen, and the other Aussie girl who had both written books about farmers' wives from totally different angle. Rachel, exactly, there we go.
She is a treasure.
She's a real treasure. And the two of them are so different, but actually interacting incredible, but all around food. So taking it away from farming and looking at food and like just encompassing the whole thing, just totally mega. I was blown totally blown away. And then just to talk now on abattoirs, just such a similar problem in the UK, and I think even more of a bigger problem here.
Shutting of the
abattoirs, and just actually solutions on farm slaughtering, those ideas. And I think I could definitely take something home. So it's becoming a real problem, and Tammy is certainly spearheading kind of the resistance to that, because it is becoming a big problem. But as I said to her this morning in an interview, it's potentially the catalyst for some actually better outcomes, micro abattoirs and things, which if the pressure hadn't been applied, we may not have got to. Yeah, I think it's moving the money away from the big players as well and giving more control to the farmer, which I think we need in the UK as well. So, it's super exciting what they're doing. Now, talk about the UK. Tell us what you're doing in the UK, because you've even won some awards, or at least one award, hey? Yeah, a long time, I say 3 years ago, I won Dairy Farmer Women of the Year, awesome. Which, just for my work in the community, having a lot of school kids on farm, apprentices on farm, and trying to inspire the next generation. So about 400 cows at home milking, organic dairy, supplying a big co-op, European co-op called Arla, which some of you might have heard of. Lurpak is one of their big brands. And we've first generation, been going about 11 years, not family farm at all. Not from farming. My mum was a vet, but apart from that, I'm very much, not from farming. Start from scratch. Yeah, total start from scratch, And what sort of practices are you currently doing? Have you been? Is it been evolving over the last 11 years in terms of changing your practices and doing potentially a better job or quality, quantity, whatever? Totally. And we started very what we call like conventional organic, so like textbook organic, just basically farming without chemicals. And actually that doesn't really work because the land's like quite hungry. So you need to treat it a little bit differently. Longer grazes, longer periods between grazes, loads of composting. Like we do a lot of composting. My husband's soil obsessed. So we're just, valuing the soil a lot more in our system. And then we have been growing our own crops for probably a year now. So we're trying to replace anything bought in because a lot of organic feed is imported in the UK. It's very hard to grow organic crops. So we're having a go at that now. So it's gone from like totally dairy through to being sort of a mixed farm. We keep quite a lot of the beef now as well. So some of that direct selling. We actually have a very good abattoir locally, and the day they shut, I will be very sad, but they will take a few animals at a time and very flexible and also will butcher it. So we're really lucky with that. But so it's gone from, very, very dairy-like through to mixed farm, which I think we're seeing more and more in the UK. So that circular system coming back.
And tell me, in terms of the industry, what sort of, apart from milking cows and running a farm, what sort of industry involvement do you have? Are you sort of an advocate for this and that, or are you sort of getting political, or where's the sort of the pressure you're applying?
So my big passion is getting the next generation in. So like as a first generation farmer, just seeing the next generation coming through is so rewarding. And I think just enabling that to happen. So it's very hard to buy land now in the UK. It's just, I don't think we'll ever buy a farm, but tenancies and things. And we started share farming. So getting the awareness around that, political support for dairy, because it's actually, very nutritionally dense, the right type of dairy, all of those things, valuing it. I sit on our board, Arla board. So I have a say, I'd rather be in the middle of it than on the outside throwing stones in. And then also NFU, which is National Farmers Union, which is our sort of national farming. It represents everything from, chickens through to beef. But I sit on the Dairy Pacific one for that and just try and have a bit of a say as much as I can. Because I think it's, easy to moan at home, isn't it? When the milk price is bad, I'd much rather sort of get involved and, make some changes.
Good on you. And tell me, before we wrap it up, conscious I've got to get down there shortly, anything else that you are going to, again, we've got another half day to go, so there's probably some other nuggets of gold you'll dig up. Anything that you think, I'm going to make a phone call to someone or look up at a website or read a book that you picked up this morning, or something you go, I'm going to action essentially, as part of your takeaways from here, the last...
Yeah, I think the big things I'm going to focus on is eating at home with my family. I think there's that really good saying, isn't there? If you want to make change in the world, go home and love your family. And I think we do a lot of eating together, but maybe prioritizing that more and more, and maybe growing some veg. I'm always very we don't have time, but actually what's probably more important than growing your own food. So we've got the beef, we've got some pork, and we swap lamb with a neighbour. But the veg bit is the bit I struggle with. So maybe, or maybe finding someone local that's doing a good job of it. So that kind of thing, eating around the table and just the conversations you have at that table. It's not just about the food, it's the conversations with your family. So I think that is going to be my big take home from one of the talks this morning is, just go home and enjoy your family, and everything else falls in place.
And I imagine that conversation about eating at home and sort of the ritual of that and the enjoyment and the gratitude is probably not what happens around a board table at some of these large industry sort of associations, right?
Yeah. I mean, it can get quite hot-headed in there. There's a lot of personalities in a room. And I think when it's a big board, it can be difficult for everyone to be heard. But I think you have to keep showing up at these things and having a place at the table. And I'm doing a Nuffield Farming Scholarship at the moment, which...
You are too. Yeah, what's your topic?
What's the future for organic? So, just out of a frustration of milk price, I just wanted to have a look at actually whether we should stay organic. The regen movement's coming through. Actually, should we just go regen instead? But just looking at that across country. So I've been all over the place, and I've here and then going to Indonesia next, and then back to Australia. So that finishes in... So I've got to write my report end of June and then presenting in November. So I'm in the middle of mine now.
It's a great organisation, isn't it?
Incredible. Getting people off farm. The farmers are very good at staying on farm, aren't they? So that's why these sort of things are amazing, because it just
Is this part of your trip?
Yeah,
awesome.
Part of my trip. Yeah, talking here this afternoon with two other really good dairy advocates. So I'm excited about that. So
Chris?
Yeah, Chris and
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Legends.
Great. Yeah,
have you met them?
Not yet. I'm ready for it.
Oh no, they are so good. They're exceptional. We were talking before off camera about their ideas. So, Sophie, all the best. Thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And enjoy the rest of your time here in Australia. And all the best for the Nuffield. And you're going to nail it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.